thank you for reaching out for some support with your college essay. I wanted to make a very short video to explain a couple of options that I am happy to explore with you. So firstly, I want to just point out this quote: writing is extremely personal. I know this from my own writing. I know this from helping students and even friends and family with writing, that unless we have a little conversation up front about how personal writing can be, sometimes there are some tough conversations. So here's the deal. If you want someone to help you with writing, you really have to be clear what you want, because I think sometimes, I know I've done this, we think we want one thing, but actually we want another. So that's why I've created this video, to really know what you want. So here are your three options. One, I am happy to help you with your ideas. Now, this is if you are asking yourself, do I convey the right message? Okay. Now, I'll never give you the answer to that. That's up to you to decide. But I'll ask you questions like, what are you trying to convey? And despite the simplicity of that question, so often, I know even in my writing, what I've written and what I was trying to write are not the same things. But if someone asks me, what are you trying to say? And I back up, I'm like, well, this is what I was trying to say. And then I'm going to ask you, well, then show me where you did that. And what you'll sometimes find is if you're, for instance, trying to write an essay about how you are resilient, and I say, okay, well, point to me places in the essay that prove you're resilient, and you can't really find any, right? Then that's the moment that you know, I didn't even have to tell you, but you know that the ideas are not quite there yet, okay? It could also be that you've presented an idea that when someone really gets you to think about it, you're like, ooh, that's not the idea I want to present, right? And I've had a lot of people ask me to read their essay where they might think they're asking for one thing, but I really want to ensure that they have the right ideas, if that's what they're looking for. Okay, sometimes you might say, listen, don't question my ideas. I know I like my ideas, but am I using the right voice, right? Is this the right perspective with the right attitude? And really, is it like authentic, right? It's really easy to tell when someone has not used their own authentic voice. Now, I don't mean that just with like AI, right? Obviously, any AI checker can pick that up. But what I mean is, like, have you really been you in conveying the ideas that you want to convey? And so here's where I'm going to really ask you, like, what is your voice, right? And sometimes I think what writing reveals, at least it has for me, is if we're not really clear about our voice, or especially about our ideas, then we just can't get this right, okay? And so what I will, if you want, and you say to me, listen, I want two, tell me about two, tell me about the voice. Is it right? Is it there? Then I'll ask you questions around that. Finally, some people are like, I've got my ideas, I've got my voice, those are on. I think that, and I won't question that if you think that. And you're just like, can you just help me make sure that the language is purposeful and precise? So if you want me to do a read on just language, you can just say, yeah, just do like a level 3 language read. That's where I will really be more like a copy editor, where I'm not questioning the content. I'm only questioning the way that that content is laid out in the English language. So I'll look for things like grammar and spelling and capitalization, punctuation, and all that. So that's more of the copy editing. So please, if you don't mind, when you send me your essay for support or for advice, please indicate which level of review are you looking for, knowing that if you ask for ideal level, I might really question and ask you questions around the real content and theme and ideas in the essay, whereas in language, I'm really only looking at like the way those words are laid out on the page, okay? And those are two really different things. If you say, I want it all, then obviously I'll do all of those three things across the board. But I want to be sure that if you only want one thing, right, then you're only getting that. And I will say that this is also how I write. Whereas when I first lay my ideas down on the page, I'm not worried about language, because it makes no sense to edit intricate details of grammar and punctuation, etc., if you're not even really sure that you have the right ideas to begin with, right? And so it's really smart to kind of do that first draft where you know the language is bad, like you know the voice isn't right, but you're just trying to play with the ideas. Are they the right ones to work on? Once you get that set, then you can worry about voice, then you can worry about language. But again, like I'm not going to edit your work or give you thoughts on the structure or the theme or the meaning. That's not what you're looking for. Okay, let me know which level or which levels you would like, and I will get right to work with some suggestions and ideas.